Right, I should be getting better at this. I have just a few addenda. As it happens, that's all you need to see of me. I'm all clean. Well, lucky old me. What am I meant to think of a police force which rips me out of my own home 4 times? Finally, I was getting the message, so I actually had my little old grey bag on my back with my passport and my credit card and some cash. But on earlier occasions, I'd been ripped out of my own home, arrested, just with what I stood up in. Bang! Just like that. Yes, they feed and water you at the big police station in sort of north-east corner of Newcastle. And the courts, what do they think? What did that court at Bedlington, I think it's called, the magistrates think? That the man is bailed, but not to go to his home. So there I am standing in the dock, literally just in what I stood up in. I still had my mobile phone. They've taken my good one, the police. I've had to buy a second one. And I must have had my bag at that point, somehow. Because I had my credit card. I went down to Newcastle and booked into Premier Inn. So I must have had my bag with my credit card and my passport. Well, what kind of system does that? An utterly shite system. They've made me homeless. Naked as I sit now, basically. If I didn't have the sort of nous to have managed to grab my bag with my credit card and my passport. What sort of system is that? And then just to spit me out, the solicitor didn't bother. Oh, no, I'm too busy. Off he goes. I was literally spat out onto the streets in Bedlington with what I stood up in. I must have had my grey bag, obviously, with the passport and the credit card. Well, what kind of system is that? I think I've got a free bus pass to Newcastle. Just literally in what I stood up in. With the fact that I was banned under the bail conditions from going to my own home. That's the extraordinary thing. All on the lies of some complete stranger. Well, I don't think I'm going to take this lying down. I really don't. No, I bear the Lord's Prayer. It's clear. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them that trespass against us. But just the whole event, or events, all of these events, since merely the Friday, the 28th of May, through to today, is it the 17th, possibly the 18th? I do keep a journal anyway, it's Saturday. July. Damn. Brain. This Saturday, the 17th of July. Well, what kind of system is that? It's shite. Everyone's, very nice. That chap used to say exactly this on the radio in my era and the television. All was done in the best possible taste. And he'd cross and uncross his legs dressed in drag, that radio chap. He was brilliant. The English, they do it in the best possible taste. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Oh, just to you. Bye. Take him down. Send him to Van Diemen's Land for life. For stealing a loaf of bread. That is documented in St. Albans. This is a fact. The courthouse in St. Albans, where I've spent a lot of time because of the Cathedral Abbey Church, where I looked long and hard becoming a priest back in the 90s. So I know the form, how to conduct a mass and all the rest of it. And I had a book in there, the old courthouse. It's now a tea room, and a historical sort of thingy, and what's it? The big Roman portico at the bottom end of St. Peter Street. In fact, it's not actually the High Street in St. Albans, it's actually St. Peter Street. And in it said, 1835, chap alleged to have stolen, I don't know, some few small things. His words were, "I didn't do it, Your Honour." And he was deported to Van Diemen's Land, which is Tasmania, for life. Why do you think the Australians win the cricket? Because their ancestors were all deported for stealing the odd handkerchief or something. Against the filthy, foul little English. Okay? Sorry. Generally, I spell England with a small e. It's a filthy, foul little country. My father left it, my grandfather left it. It's a filthy, foul little England, this. It purports to be something, whereas in fact it's actually a filthy, foul little country. And it gets away with it, but not forever. You cannot fool God. Just look at us. Look at the way we behaved in India. We totally raped India. My country, Britain, totally used the labour to make mega money. The whole British Empire, totally raping the world. The sugar trade, the slave trade. 1807, William Wilberforce had to fight to abolish the slave trade. For 30 years, Church of England people owning slaves, they used to brand them, "You are a Church of England slave. You're not a human being, you're a slave." And wonderfully, out of that grew the whole Baptist movement in the South in America. I don't know how they did that. The black people, the ones who survived. Someone died, you just chucked them over the side of the ship. That is what the English have done. That's just a tiny, tiny, small flavour of what the English have done. The French aren't awfully keen on us. The Welsh, oh, well, there we are, do-do-ba. The Scots certainly aren't. The Irish, well, there's another matter. Why do you think they're so ornery with the English? The filthy, foul little English. I think this is called a man with his dander up, quite frankly. My back's to the wall. Essentially, I'm still stuffed. I cannot return to my own home for 3 months. My finances will not allow that. This is £1,000 a month. I haven't got that to last for 3 months. So I've got to make a plan. I'm fine today, clean and dry. Well, still a bit damp actually. It's a filthy, foul little England. They keep purporting to be, oh, we play by the rules, play the game, my dear chap. I'd say awfully sorry. Oh, was that a googly? Oh, dear. They're a pathetic, foul little nation. They elected that man, quite frankly. Why can't he afford a hairbrush? My hair is centre-parted. My own father fought on the Somme in the First World War. My mother said, when you go out into the world, you present yourself in an appropriate manner. He looks like a blooming child, a rebellious child, quite frankly, with his hairdo, whatever it is. What sort of example is that setting the world? And you lot, the English, voted him back in. And the people up here too did. He's got an 80-seat majority, 80, 81, whatever it is. Just to get Brexit through. We're all joined up to Europe. I'm not bothered. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we should have stayed in... We. Who's we? I'm a Christian. I take no... Well, I can't help being a part of this stuff. Where I come from, my roots, my family, my background, of which I'm very proud, justifiably proud. But England's a filthy, foul little country. Because it purports to be something which it is not. One of the absolute killer blows for me is the Queen is the supreme governor of the Church of England, but she's the head of the army. That is just evil. Perpetrating that complete, utter lie. No Christian church can have as its leader a woman who signs the papers, which mean that people go and kill other people. I.e. the second war in Iraq, specifically in my lifetime, the second war in Iraq was evil. That makes England evil. That makes the Queen evil. If you don't like what I'm saying, just switch me off. It's easy. Just switch me off. One may well ask, why am I living in this evil country? Well, that is part of the point of Northumbria, because Northumbria is sort of apart from England. It's sort of its own place. And it has this wonderful Christian heritage. So, St. Aidan, St. Cuthbert, the Venerable Bede, King Oswald, and many others. In the years sort of 600 to 735, in fact, the Venerable Bede died. That's why I'm there. And then Christianity sort of permeated south into England from Northumbria and also across to Europe and so on. It's not a game. It pleasures me none to have to speak of my own country in such a manner. But I do, and I will, for it is true. Amen. Not quite sure how I transition to happy thoughts from all of that. Most people don't even give any of this stuff a thought. Made the way I am, I do. I positively insist upon it, because it matters. For the next generation, before I die, I will speak. No one is going to silence this voice of God speaking through me. No one. This shenanigans in Anik at the moment, to some extent, is trying to silence me. As we say in Zulu, high corner, no. I'm trying to transition to a happy thought after all of that. There will be a second coming. All of this stuff is written in this book, the book of life. It's in Revelation, the last chapter of the Bible in the New Testament. It will happen. So, just today, my earlier film, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one shall come to the Father but through me. Those are Christ's words. That's it. No one's listening. Most people, in the West especially. Ghanaian Africans. My father went out and ran the railways in the Gold Coast, as it was then called, from Ghana. The sort of home language is Fanti. They get it. I mean, virtually, the chap who used to clean the loos at the library in St. Albans, he was Ghanaian. And we just had lovely chats. A black man. But a Christian. He'd be in the loos cleaning away, but singing. Brilliant. Wonderful him then, at his humble job. We always had a chat. The only way you silence me is by killing me. I will speak. That's it. It's all I can do. I can barely walk. My heart's knackered. My brain is still working. Some may debate that, but there we are. That's their problem. I will speak. Amen. Am I good enough to come before God? This morning I was so angry I couldn't pray. I couldn't come to God and pray. I was too angry. Just felt wrong. The seagull has obviously seen something down below, and it's flying up and then buffing down. Must be food. Now it's perch. Here we go. That'll do. Perch. Seagull on Celtic cross and chappy. Right? I don't know if the camera shows it properly, but anyway, there's a wee chapel there, and the seagull is perched on the Celtic cross directly opposite. Amen.